I'm going to speak about data analytics using Python. This is lecture one of my book chapter called Introduction to Data Analytics. I'm Dr. Kamil Siddiqui, an associate professor from IT department, LIET. Okay, let's go on to the introduction to data analytics. Okay, the objective is to introduce the conceptual understanding using simple and practical examples rather than repetitive and point-click mentality. What I mean by point-click mentality is something, let's say today one of the running scenario that goes on the many of the organizations such as Udemy, Academia, Hans Academy, they are introducing some self-made templates where programmers are allowed to use them as they like, and while doing so they just know how to plug and play the system rather than understanding what's actually the inbuilt algorithm or the software inside. So that's a point click mentality it's all about. Okay, this talk will mainly focus on someone to help and choose the appropriate tools and the proper tools used for data analytics and help them in the business domain in order to foresight the importance and the performance of the sales, the employees, and any of the products. So let us see an example of what point-click mentality is. Look here, if it is shown like a man is being given a chance to climb a wall, and while doing so he has given the tools something like ladder. There are several ladders, but he doesn't know how to use the ladder. So the way he's using is just piling them up, and hence he's climbing. Actually, in doing so, he is actually serving the purpose, but this is not the appropriate way. Is not one ladder would have been enough in order to climb the stairs, the wall. Okay. So let us discuss about the topics what I'm trying to deal with in this lecture. I'm defining data and its importance. I'm defining data analytics and its types, and explaining why analytics is important in today's business environment, and how statistics, analytics, and data science are interrelated with each. These are the burning topics of the present scenario, and why we are using Python in here in order to accomplish our tasks. In doing so, we are also explaining 4 different levels of data. Those are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Okay, let us proceed. The first objective is defining data and its importance. Okay, so let us know some of the characteristics of our data, like basically the terms or the terminology which are very much important while doing data analytics. That is variable, measurement, and data. So let us discuss what the variable is. We already know, we have been learning from the intellectual of mathematics, like what are the variable is. It's just quantity x which can take any values. But in terms of analytics, it has a characteristic meaning. Variable is the characteristic of any entity being studied that is capable of taking any different values. Okay, any different values. Okay, and the measurement which we are performing while standardizing this process. Okay, from where we get the data actually is not. And this adds to the attributes or characteristics of a variable, and that is called as measurement. Okay, so if you look at the definition, the measurement is when you standard the process used to assign numbers to your particular attributes or characteristics of variable are called as measurement. Okay, in the same way, then what is data? And while doing this measurement, we have some values, something that we have in our hand. That is nothing but data. So data is nothing but it's an output of your measurement. So data are recorded measurement. So there is a variable, you measure the phenomena. After measuring the phenomena, you are substituting some values for the variable. So the variable will take a particular value. That value is nothing but your data. Okay, that value is nothing but your data that is in your hand. So these are the 3 important aspects, that is variable, measurement, and data, that you need to keep in mind in aspects of data analytics. Okay, let us proceed down. Okay, let's see where this data is coming from and why this data is very important for us. Look at this. Data can be generated by humans, it could be machines, it could be generation from both. Okay, amalgamation of both. Okay, so what's happening, as an example I'm describing in here. If you look at the left hand side of the picture, data add values to the business. How? if you see the data being collected at the data warehouse, I'm taking an example of IT workloads. In here, first thing we are trying to see, we are segregating the data. One is development of data product. The second one is discovering of data and discovering of data through insights. Okay, what these two things are doing, basically these segregations are again giving us the face value or the business value of our products. Okay, so development of data product is nothing but your algorithms, okay, your ways towards your marketing and sales, okay, what aspects you are trying to proceed through. And discovery of data insight is something what you can do with this data, like how you can bring about after the data you have in your hand. Okay, that insights, that basically the foresight what we have. Okay, so one of the example which I'm trying to show is your autonomous car, and how I think there's a blurred picture about how the sales being carried out by a woman, basically when they try to find their dress codes, and how these dress codes are being matched with their sales, and it helps them to gauge their new products whenever they come to the market again through online or offline. And third one is nothing but a Google map, that is everybody knows about how the Google map works. Okay, so let us define data and its importance again. The data helps in making better decisions. What is the need of this? We are trying to make better decisions. And why these better decisions are important? Because in order to grow and excel the performance, we need to take better decisions. To solve problems by finding the reason for underperformance. Okay, some of the employees or some of the products doesn't work well, so you cannot keep on them at stake. Okay, we have to see for some particular time, and then we have to remove from the shelf, and we have to show them what the underperformance is all about. Okay, in the same way, we evaluate the performance for benchmarking the performance of your business organization. That's how the benchmarks are made. It shows the level of your organization that has been reached up to an apex. Thereby, we can know we are on the survival mode or not. And to help to understand the consumers and the market, especially in the marketing context. Because marketing, as we know, it is one of the important domain of business analysis. And while marketing, actually, it holds one of the chunks of business development. Okay, so it helps in scenarios of marketing. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to the second objective, that's defining data analytics and its type. So why analytics are important? So I'll just clear the concepts of analytics and analysis in here. So data analytics is the scientific process of transforming data into insights for making better decisions. See, this is not analysis, this is analytics. It is a transforming of data that we use in order to make better decisions. Okay, and how we do this? For determining the example why we use it here is for determining the credit risk, for developing new medicines, especially in healthcare, finding more efficient ways to deliver products and services, efficient ways. In the banking context, data analytics is used to prevent the fraud, and it's uncovering the cyber threats. Okay, to find out possible cyber crimes, and we can detect, it can prevent. For retaining the most valuable customers, so we can focus on more on our valuable customers. So many people works in different banking sectors. Okay, their main goal is just not to run around and find the business of with your money. They also know how to face the valuable customer and how to retain them. And one of them is to understand the importance of the customer and its attributes and characteristics, where he wants to spend and what he wants at this moment of time. So data analytics help in order to find these customers and focus on them rather than focusing on all the employees. Okay, let's move on. So whereas data analysis is the process of examining, transforming and arranging raw data into a specific way to generate useful information from it. So see, data analysis is just the arrangement of the data in order to make the analytics later. But analysis is something we are arranging that in a proper format so that you can use later in future. Okay, so let us discuss the what are the different types of data analytics we can forge into. I'll be describing a map in here. Before that, They are divided into 4 different types: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analysis, and prescriptive analytics. Okay, so if you look at the figure, I just want to say uh, what happened in the past and why did it happen. Okay, so descriptive analytics is something what happened in the past. Okay, and diagnostic analytics is something why did it happen. Okay, what was the reason behind our success or what was the reason behind our failure. And predictive analytics is something what will happen. What will happen is something you want to proceed further in order to gain something from it. So that's why you're trying to make it in a better way. So that's why it's called the predictive analytics. You're predicting something. And prescriptive analytics is something how you can make it happen. Okay. This is I'll just go to the last slide again, because the difficulty level as compared to the values. Look at this. This is where we are heading towards prescriptive analysis. That is what we want actually in order to achieve to the good business point of view. Okay. Define data analytics and its type. We are trying to describe these 4 analytics, and let us see what are the tools in order to get these 4 different data analytics. Example of descriptive analytics: company reports that simply provide the historical review of data, like data queries, reports, descriptive statistics, data visualization, and data dashboards. These I think can be performed mostly by Excel file, isn't it? And there are some other tools like Azure is there, okay, and other cloud computing products. Similarly, the diagnostic analytics is data discovery, data mining, and correlations. These tools can be used for prescriptive analysis. Why? Because here we are using the reason why was it happen. So that's why we need tools to drag into the past, and that's why diagnostic analytics are there. This is what happens if you go to any diagnostic center. You come to the diagnostic center after having a descriptive analytics from the doctor. Then you go under the diagnostic. He will send you to the MRI. I'm just talking about the medical domain. He'll send you to some of the echoes. I don't know. So these are the tools that can be used for descriptive analysis. Predictive analytics example is linear regression. Okay, we are trying to find a linear output. We are trying to find that model that should be linear with your input, so that you should be and you should get the same output. Okay, time series analysis and forecasting with data mining. Okay. Prescriptive analytics, some of the tools which you can use is optimization tool, simulation, and design analysis. So these are, you'll come to know later in Python how we are trying to form these analytics tool to predict the data, to find the confusion matrix, to find the F1 score, to find the precision. Okay. Let us see that now. Okay. So how it is important in today's life, like how data analytics will be important and why people are working on this. More demanding data analysis for business engineers. Look at the trend that has been shown into 2017. For example, the blue line represents the data scientist and the orange represents the statistician, operation researcher. That was the usual naive method where the statistics people working in statistics used to operate with simple tools in order to get the reports. So you see they are not doing better as you compared with the blue line, with the yellow one. Okay. So how statistics, analytics, and data science are interrelated? This is one of the another objective we are trying to look into. See, we are having 3 different models. One is statistics, second one is modeling and optimization, and business intelligence. That is the power tool that we are using at this moment of time. Okay, in amalgamation of this and the intersection of this, you can find data mining, simulation risk, and what if is one of the condition that we want to predict when we are trying to go more into the involvement of modeling and business intelligence. And the amalgamation of all these, or the intersection of all this, is visualization. And this visualization is nothing but your data science. Look here. If you look into, these are the mathematics experts on the statistics background. Technology or hacking skills is nothing but your BI and information systems. Whereas business strategies are the modeling and optimization techniques. and the outcome of this is nothing but a data science. Okay, now let us go more into these details and how to drag into. That's why we are using a tool, that is our software Python, and why Python is important. So you can see we are deciding Python in on its features as well as its its typical usage of Python. So features are simple and easy to learn, freeware and open source, interpreted, dynamical type, extensible, embedded, and extensive usage of libraries. Okay. So we have to just know the basic tools, how to write a statements in Python, and how you get the visualization of the reports, and how you can play with the matrices and the data you are being presented with. Okay, so as compared to features, we have usability. How desktop and web applications, database applications, network applications. Here, the sake of data analytics, we are using data sciences, machine learning, and IoT and AI applications. Okay. Let us see how we can divide these four different levels of data. Data can be categorized into categorical and numerical. Again, numerical data can be divided into discrete and continuous. We have to be very particular. Why? This is the concept of Python programming, where by segregating the data, we can increase your performance while using the Python tools. Okay. So we have to know which kind of data type we are working on. So that's why we can easily constitute the rows and columns in order to segregate and perform the analysis on it, like let's say regression or linear polynomial regression analysis, clustering, k-means, different analysis are there, okay, based on the types of models. Okay, four different levels of data. So let us see. Nominal is something they are related to categories in which no ranking is implied. The example is gender, marital status. Okay, how we can see, mostly it's binary classification, isn't it? We are trying to see data that can be segregated into either it is present or not present, binary type, male or female. Okay, marital status. Okay, married, unmarried. Okay, ordinal is something based on the ranking. Ranking is something we have a hierarchy of this, like let's say in the teaching example, we have professor, then we have associate professors, assistant professors, then we have like helpers or programmers. Then we have intervals. Interval is a scale, is ordered scale, okay, in which the difference between measurement is a meaningful quantity. It's a meaningful quantity, but the measurement do not have to be a 0 point. Okay, it doesn't have a 0 point on it. Like let's say years and temperatures, and that to temperatures in centigrade, because in centigrade we calculate in terms of heatness level. Okay, unlike the Kelvin temperature, where Kelvin temperature describes us the presence of heat or absence of heat. That's why we have a 0 scale in Kelvin. Okay, that's not in centigrades. Okay, and then the ratio scale. The ratio scale is the ordered scale in which the difference between the measurement is meaningful quantity and the measurement have the true 0 point. True 0 point. Example, weight. Your weight could be 0. Yes. Your age could be 0. Yes. You are when started. Your salary could be 0. You are not earning. Kelvin temperature comes under ratio scale. Very important aspects. Okay. Okay. Let us see the potential usage of these four different levels of data. You see, nominal comes as the subset of all, and it is a subset of ordinal. Then ordinal is the subset of interval, where all these are the subset of ratio. Okay, let us see some of the aspects towards the Python programming course, because here we are trying to discuss a concept of how Python programming is useful for very first processing state, when the data comes into our hand, and how we are processing the data before going to feature analysis, and then feature categorization, then analysis. So we have to know how to segregate this data. So here I am trying to show some examples of how to segregate the rows and the columns. Okay, I am using print df.h, that gives me the first 5 rows, okay, starting from 0. In the same way, print df.loc0 will give me the location or the first row aspects of first row, like all the features of first row. In the same way, we have last row, let's say 100th row is there, so I need to write df.loc99, that gives the information of the 100th row. Then we have tail. In the tail, df.tail n equals to 1 gives me the last information, which is the same way we can describe the last row. And the same way I'm describing 0th, 90, first row, 100th and 1000th row. You can see I've described in the print df.iloc. Okay. And again in the asterisk matrices I'm mentioning in array form 0, 99, 9 and 99. Okay. That gives me the first 100th and 1000th row. Okay. There are some more codes. If you have to play with the subset categories and dividing the features only based on the column name, like let's say I want years and population. In the same way I have ilog, and then I have small range where I need to describe the contents of my indices based on the range. So instead of defining in the subset, I can describe as a small range. Yes, you can see here I mentioned df.ilog in bracket colon small range. Okay. And group by is also nice, a function of Python programming, whereby I can group only what are the features I want. Here you see I'm taking the mean value of this, that's why I'm using the object dot mean. Okay, so conclusion of this, basically this is one of the lecture 1 from the data analytics. So the lecture 2 would be central tendencies and dispersion, a probability distribution of sample means and population and variances, confidence interval estimation in single population, hypothesis testing 1 and 2 sample population and errors, ANOVA 1 and 2, while a single and multiple regression model, residual analysis. This is part and parcel of the NPTEL courses which I am going through, and the result of this would be one of my book chapter for data analytics, which I am working on. Thank you everyone. Thanks for this lecture you have, for the time you have been, given me. I'm obliged for giving me the opportunity to give this lecture. Thank you very much.